this is the first time we've actually done a meet and greet post a Beachbody event. So how many of you were able to like tune into Beachbody's event today, or are you like, nope, gotta catch up on that? I tuned in a little bit too. It was great.
I did. I watched it.
And are you guys familiar with Beachbody products already? Are you challengers who are thinking about coaching, or is this all brand new?
Awesome.
Brand new. Cool. Very cool.
Cool.
So there's a bunch of us on the team, and we're all like chatty Cathys right now because all of us are in quarantine. So when we see everybody, it's like, nice to see you. Let's catch up on life. But we do these kinds of calls as a team weekly, and it's just nice to kind of get together and see each other's faces, especially right now. But we are the team. We are a collective unit of coaches who have just created this ripple effect of people who started and paid it forward, and we've become this crew of just like really great friends. And it's really nice to have new faces on here and people who consider joining. And we are all, of course, always like, yes, you'd be crazy not to join. But we know people have questions. We know they have concerns. So it was kind of just a call for us to just tell you a quick glimpse into our story, how we got started, and then open it up for questions if you have any, or if you have any concerns, or if there's something hanging over you that you're like, wait, I still don't get X, Y, and Z. This is your space to do it. So yeah, since I'm already gabbing, I'm just going to say I'm Annalisa, been a coach for 7 years. I started as wedding prep with a nutritional program called the Ultimate Reset. And after that, when I got back, my coach said, consider coaching. I was in school as a speech and language pathologist. I had just graduated. I didn't really see myself creating this as like a full-time thing, but having that supplemental income or extra income was a huge draw for me. Student loans and just spending money and whatever it may be. And I had done MLM before. I had done a jewelry business. And the thing that kind of appealed to me about this was that I had just done a program that generated massive results in 21 days of a total nutrition overhaul. And when my coach invited me, I felt like I would feel way more comfortable paying this forward than I would with the jewelry that I was trying to just make a quick buck on. So it's a totally different mindset about it. It's totally different passion about it, of getting results and paying that forward. So it took me through wedding prep. It took me through pregnancy, postpartum, everything in between, life as a busy mom, home workouts, etc. And it's just been the thing that has held me accountable to my own health and fitness for the last 7 years. I have been able to create a full-time income through this business. I have been able to stay home for 2 years with my son when he was born. And then I went back into my degree as speech and language pathology in the schools now. And it's just been such an awesome community to be a part of. So all of the things that this opportunity is, there are just so many amazing components to it, and it's multifaceted. Like, there's so many things to celebrate about this, and I'm sure you'll hear about a few others from everyone who's going to introduce themselves as I drink my wine, because it's been a day. Coaches drink wine too.
It has been a day. I haven't gotten there yet. I'll go next. I'm Dana. I have been a coach for a little over 6 years now. Annalisa is actually my coach. We were high school field hockey teammates, and she reached out to me for 4 months before I actually said yes. I was really at a crossroads in my life when I said yes to coaching. I was 6 months into becoming a single mom. My son was just shy of turning a year old. I had come out of a really abusive relationship. I was really just kind of at rock bottom in my life in general, just physically, mentally, emotionally, financially. And I really wanted to be home with my baby. Like, I had never wanted to be a stay-at-home parent until I actually became a parent. And when I said yes to my journey, it was mainly because I knew, like, being where I was at that point in my life, I needed to work on myself. Like, I needed to get happy. I needed to regain my confidence. I struggled with a lot of anxiety. I still do. I just had a lot of like personal work that I needed to do, and I needed someone to hold me accountable, but I needed the tools and the community to do it. and very quickly, I think it was within 3 days actually of signing up that she had me hop on a phone call very much like this one, to learn about the potential of the opportunity. And that was where I realized, like, I can be on this journey. I can be imperfect. I can be human. I can share the ups and downs. And like, if I have the ability to transform and change my life, I can inspire other people to do the same. And that was it for me. I was all in from day one, gung ho about becoming full-time. And I have been a full-time coach now for 6 years. And I'm just super grateful because the first 3 years of my son's life, I was able to do what I wanted and be home and present with him. And now he's in school. Well, obviously not at the moment, but this has just absolutely completely changed the trajectory of our life. And I couldn't imagine where I would be or who I would be or how would we be living without it. And I think specifically for me during this quarantine time, it's so helpful to have the tools and the support and the self-care to really move through like the emotions, the anxiety and the loneliness, like having the support in the community, just having the tools to actually help ourselves navigate this process, because there is so much out of our control, that there is a lot that we can focus on that's in our control. And that's truly a gift for me, as it always has been. So that's me in a nutshell.
All right, I'll go. Well, my name's Kelly, for those of you that don't know me. I have been a coach this June. It'll be 5 years, which is kind of crazy. But I will tell you that I was actually one of those people that wanted nothing to do with coaching for a really long time. I was like so anti it that I think I like was downright mean to my coach, like told her I would never speak to her again. She even tells me to this day, like, I was actually scared of you, because I was like, if you ever tell me one more question again about coaching, I'm going to literally like quit everything and I'm like done. So I was not one of those people that first started that was like all into it. I was the opposite. But I think what really changed for me was I started this 100% selfish reasons for myself. And I think that's why a lot of people start, is you're just not in the right place, whatever it is. And I needed to get to that place to really feel more confident and more comfortable in being able to share. And once I hit that point, which I did, because I started to see very big differences in my overall health with just my weight loss. I had very big weight loss. I gained like significant control over my diabetes. I just had a lot of physical changes that a lot of my doctors were noticing. And I think all of that kind of gave me that push to feel more confident that what I was doing was working. And therefore it became super easy to share. So I then decided to coach. Coaching has been a game changer for me in a lot of ways. And right now, talking about kind of what's going on right now in the world, it's been a game changer because I've lost my job at this point in time as a nurse. Our clinic has closed, and I think I'm starting next week though, some tele stuff, but our clinic is closed, therefore I have not been getting paid. And I can tell you that the weekly checks from doing this and for staying on the right path of doing this for so long, I've been at least been able to make probably what I would make with my nursing job through Beachbody. So it's been like a huge help for us. And I think it's been not the first time, but one of the big first times my husband is like, oh my gosh, thank goodness for this right now. And we're in the middle of moving, guys. So it's like a shit show right now. But it's been something I never thought I'd do, and cannot imagine myself not doing it from this point on. So very, very happy I made that change.
All right, I'll pop in. Hi guys, I am Mary Page. I started with Beachbody over 3 years ago, and I joined just for the workouts and the nutrition advice. In my adult life, I'd always been overweight, really tried everything under the sun, and always kind of did that yo-yo thing back and forth, and never really found something that really stuck that I could maintain for a really long time. So my coach kind of stepped in. We're good high school friends. And she said, hey, I've been doing this thing. Why don't you come join me? So obviously I was like, I've tried everything. Why not this? And so I said, what the hell? Let's just give it a shot. Right. And so I got in, and what really was the game changer, and I didn't realize this would be thing was the community. I got into an accountability group. I fell in love with it. It really motivated me. It had me excited to show up every single day, and it really pushed me. So I ended up, losing a little bit of weight and got really excited about it. And, I had no idea what she was asking me when I first signed up. She's like, hey, you want this discount thing? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Why not? Let's see how it goes. And about a couple weeks, I said to her in that first conversation, I said, I don't have to sign anybody up right now, do I? So it was already like something planted in my head, like, oh, well, maybe I could be a coach. I've always kind of been that leader of groups and stuff. So she invited me to a coach call very similar to this, where everybody kind of got on and talked about like their story and shared a little bit about the opportunity. So it was really enlightening, but guess what? I sat on it for about 6 months. I didn't do anything with it. I did share my progress with friends on Facebook because I was really excited, but I did not like coach or like sign anybody up or make any money for a good 6 months. And it was right around the time the team went to New Orleans for their annual coach summit. I was like, I'm having major FOMO. I have to be a part of this. I have to do this next year. And that was it. I was all in from that point on. While they were at Summit, I'm texting my coach. I'm like, how the hell do I sign people up? What do I need to do? And from there, it was just kind of lightning. I just knew I needed to be a part of it. And funny enough, up until that 6-month point, I had, lost some weight, but it wasn't huge transformation for me. Since I joined, I have officially lost 50 pounds and just transformed my life. And I've got to be honest, like coaching itself, that was my accountability. When I had to show up for somebody else, I showed up for myself. And that was the biggest thing. Now, right now, during this quarantine time, I'm so thankful for coaching and having an outlet, because otherwise I'd be sitting on the couch, stress eating my face off, and having nothing to do with my time. And this way I'm being productive. I'm helping my family make a little money so that we can pay down debt. And it's just really helpful for me to just have my hands in on something that's really inspiring and changing other people's lives. So that's what I love the most about it.
I guess I can go if Rachel's just going to be quiet over there.
I didn't know if we were only going to have 4 of us speak or what. I wasn't sure.
Just
Well,
go
I'll
for it.
be very brief. I'm Ashley, and I am coming up to 2 years in June of coaching. Dana is my coach, and I started this in a very dark place. I was at the lowest point of my life, like a lot of us on here. I had just lost my son to a congenital heart defect at 6 months old. From living in a hospital for 6 months, I had weighed myself and saw that I was over 300 pounds, and I didn't recognize myself in the mirror. I felt alone. I felt lost. But I knew that I wanted to get myself back. Especially because we were planning on having more children, and who wants to have a super depressed, dark mom who doesn't like herself? And I want to teach my kids self-love, right? So Dana had reached out to me over and over and over and over again. And I said, oh, not right now. Like, I'm just trying to get on my funk. And then I saw she was doing this challenge that was for 80 days. And I was like, okay, let's try it. F it. Like, I got nothing to lose at this point. I've gained so much. I just wanted to feel something again, other than what I was feeling. And I crushed 80-Day Obsession, which if anyone has ever looked into it, it is not an easy program to do for your first program. But I crushed it, and I am now down 101 pounds as of today, and super just beyond the moon thankful. We have a rainbow baby now, Violet. She is 4. She's learning all of these habits that I had to learn myself, that now is just normal for her, which that in and of itself is a gift for her and her future. I've been able to help my family pay down the debt from my son's medical bills, because a lot of people don't know that even after your child dies, you're still responsible for their medical bills. So we had thousands and thousands and thousands of medical bills and thousands of dollars in debt, and Beachbody has helped us pay them down big time. But like, finances aside, the friendships that we have here in the community, and just women who just get you, like, just because they're my people, is priceless, and is something that you can't get anywhere else, especially with our team. I mean, I'm biased, but whatever. And I just have to say that without Beachbody and without this team, I probably wouldn't be here, in all honesty. Like, literally would not be here, and my daughter wouldn't be here, and I wouldn't have had the courage to help other people, which is what I love to do. So that's me. And if you're on the fence about this because you're overweight or you don't have a lot of self-esteem, lean on us, trust us, because that's what I did. And you don't need anything. We've got your back, and we're here to support you.
All right, I'll be very brief. I hope you guys don't mind meeting all of us, but I think that's the power of why we do something like this, is because it's not a one-size-fits-all experience or opportunity in any way, shape, or form as a customer or as a coach. And that's what's so cool about it. And that's why we all share our stories and talk so much on an event like this, is the beauty of it all. So my story is that Dana, who is Declan tonight, otherwise known as Declan, she was one of my swimming buddies growing up, and I saw her high vibes on the internet and was like, oh man, what's going on over there? Seems like a magic carpet ride, because I was really struggling with my anxiety, and I just decided to go in for it. After dabbling around in a few different products that the company offers, I decided to actually go in for like a full package solution. Invited one friend to do it with me because I felt weird on the internet alone, and never invited anyone else again for a while. And then all of a sudden just started seeing what everyone was doing and the camaraderie of the coaches. I think also, Mary Page, I think you spoke to a little FOMO about events. I think I felt some of that. I think that's what happened to me too. I think that's what really led me to it. And I also fell in love with the multivitamin, because I was like looking for a really high quality loose pack multivitamin, and I love it. I fell in love with it. So I kind of just like felt guilty that I was like spending this money on it for some reason. I don't know why. Now I've learned I shouldn't feel guilty about things like that because I coach. And that was my original drive, I guess, also, was to share it with people and get that for free. In my mind, that's how it felt. And as I've fallen forward with the coaching experience, I've learned so much about who I am. I have been through some pretty deep life experiences along the way. And the fact that I just keep learning about business, about myself, about other people and connections with human beings, and also can make money doing that, learning and making money, it's great. It's a great experience. So that's why I'm here, and that's my experience, if that connects with you.
Yeah, I love this team. I literally have heard these stories so many times, and every time I hear them, I'm still like, oh my God, so great.
And there's so many other people that aren't even on here, guys. So you're seeing like a fraction, but you know, we're all taking little pieces and jumping on in for different calls, but there is usually like a ton. So you see some of us, but there's probably like magnified by like a million. So,
and unfortunately, we usually, like in the next couple months, you would typically see us all come together for our annual event, but dang, COVID canceled our annual event this year in New Orleans. But anyway, we'll figure out what to do as a team together. But it really
Talk
is such a
about
big
some event maybe in the future, getting together or something like that.
Yeah, we're gonna have an event. We'll do something.
I just wanted to say too, if you, because I saw a couple of you said that you didn't get to watch the actual stream from earlier today. It is streamed in the Business of Coaching page, and actually in that stream, like there's a couple parts where corporate is talking, which might not be like the most interesting thing. But there's some stories in there of coaches sharing about like what we actually do, their stories of how they got into this, why they fell in love with it. And then there's a success story from a newer coach who has a really powerful story as well that I think is really worth listening to. It is nice sometimes to hear from newer coaches that have come in, you know, not like I feel like we're dinosaurs, a lot of us, because we've been around a while, but from newer coaches and hearing their experience with it. I think that can be really powerful too. And there's just some good nuggets in there about, you know, our products and our programs. If kind of nerding out on that stuff interests you, or you have some questions about those things too. But just want to open the floor up to you guys. And if you're not comfortable talking, if you want to type it in the chat, do you guys have any specific questions about coaching, or anything that like you've wondered, or what do we actually do, or how do we earn money, or any of that kind of stuff? We're happy to answer any of your questions.
As you guys think about it, if anything comes up, the general principle of this, there's one thing you do, it's commit to your journey and talk about it on social media, with your friends, share results, share the struggles. Like, we're not perfect. We all have like our valleys and peaks and like our successful chapters and like places where we're like, crap, we gotta figure something else out. But the beauty is like this community is always there for you. So no matter where you are, it's not about like for the next 100 years, you're gonna be like on your A game with nutrition and fitness. It's that you share your journey and you're constantly trying to be better. Mentally, physically, whatever. So
And a lot of this is, there's a lot of, obviously many of you have probably seen a million Beachbody coaches that are out there, and everyone does things very differently. But I think what I love about our team is that we just are all very just real. Like, we just call it as it is. We're very relatable. No one wants to see perfection. It's just not fun. Like, no one's striving for that. People are striving to just feel good about themselves. And that can mean a lot of different things. But I think sharing the struggles, like Dana said, and Lisa said, like sharing the good days and the bad days and just being real and being you. I know for me, like, I like to try to be a reason that people, when they're on social media, like get a good laugh or get, just put a smile on their face, but see positive changes. But also throw in some of the struggles that I do face, because there are a lot of people out there that could probably relate to it. And that's why they've kind of come maybe to me, is maybe I've talked about, my diabetes or something, that it flipped a switch for them. And then they felt like comfortable talking to me about joining. I'm not, nailing down people's doors trying to get people to come join me, but I will share and I will talk someone's ear off if they want to hear me talk, because I just love so passionately like what this has done for us in a lot of ways. And I think that's why I've been here this long, is just because it's easy to share about it. And that's coming from someone that would never share on social media, like refused to share on social media. So that's come a long way. So it gets better for those of you that might be nervous about the social media piece. Now I say anything.
The other great thing about this business is that you can kind of make it what you want. You can go at any pace you want. And there's really no, you and your coach, whoever invited you here, you talk about your goals. Like, what do you want out of this? Like, what do you want to make? What are you just striving for? And then you kind of set a game plan. Okay, well, this is a good path for you to take. And you can help, 3 people a month this month, or maybe you're just looking to make, a couple of bucks here or there, and you just want to do it kind of as a hobby. or you're kind of like, Dana, you go all in. You're like, no, I got to do it. This is for my family, like this is do or die moment. So it just really doesn't matter where you're starting. You can take this business and run with it, or you can take it and just have fun with it. So either way is still an opportunity.
No pressure, guys. No pressure. Don't.
I know. So
Just ask-
basically, what happens from here is you connect with whatever coach invited you in here. You can have conversations with them until you're blue in the face. Like, these coaches are here to answer your questions, help you navigate this. Don't worry, you're not like selling your first child for this opportunity. Like, you commit to your own health and fitness and wellness, and you start putting it out there on social media, and you invite people to do it with you. Like, that's the biggest thing. Like, I just started this. This is how I'm feeling. Who wants to do this with me? And you might have people ask you for details, and you don't have to know it all. You just talk with your coach and say, this is where I'm at. I can connect you with my coach because I don't know all the answers. You don't have to be a know-it-all. You just have to say, all I know is that my coach told me to start with Shakeology and this fitness program, and that's what I'm going to do. And if you want to do it with me, awesome, let's do this. It is a huge opportunity for people right now in quarantine. Like, we are constantly talking to each other, being like, this sucks. Like, quarantine sucks. This whole thing just sucks, right? But we have this community to relate to lift us up, to focus on personal development, to engage in all these things that are self-care, essentially, workouts and nutrition and mental wellness and meditation and whatever it may be. So right now, this is what people need. And we're just really fortunate to be those people who are the bridge to get people there. So touch base with your coach. We won't keep you on much longer. If you have questions afterwards, feel free to post in the Business of Coaching page. We're all in there. We're all answering questions. You'll hear from a bunch of different people. Keep in mind, all of our stories are so different. But the one common thing is, like, we just really appreciate being able to invest in ourselves and be better and grow and feel better. But yeah, there's a lot of different people on here. So if nothing spoke to you, if you're like, but my story is this, I can pretty much guarantee someone on the team can relate to you in some way. Any questions before we wrap up, guys? Feel free to unmute.
Can we add to the questions? Does anybody have any fears or apprehensions? I like those. Those are
like,
my favorite.
What is
That was me.
What is the one thing that's keeping you from, like, signing up yesterday? Literally, like, what is the one fear or a concern? Finances, time, whatever. Or if you're like, I'm in, let's do this thing. It's so fun.
Technically been a discount coach, if that's the same thing.
Yep.
Pretty much ever since I started. So I'm on Kelly's team. I'm type 1 diabetic, just like her and all of the other ladies. And it's been accountability for me, but Shakeology just like blew my mind after I started drinking it, which is amazing. And just being able to figure out how to actually work out and then not undo it all because I get, so low and just go eat the entire kitchen. So, like, I think the accountability and, like, bouncing questions off of other people and that was the big game changer for me. So I love being able to be positive and do all of that to anyone that I can talk to, my friends, my colleagues, anyone like that. But I think my biggest thing is like, am I doing enough? Can I do enough? Do I have to, I don't want to be that person. And I'm sure you guys all have that fear too. Like, you don't want to be that person, like, shoving stuff down people's throats when they don't want it. But in all honesty, it sounds like you just have to remind them and just let them know, like, hey, here's this opportunity out here. You don't have to sign up to be a coach by any means, but if you're thinking about, figuring out your workout plan, it's $99 a year.
Mm-hmm.
That's less than $10 a month.
Are you sure you're not a coach already?
Thinking the same
You
thing.
legit should be
I'm like, who is she? She's
with like
Fire.
Jess Lanier and Megan should be like the Shaco people, because she started with just Shaco and she has been like on it. Like she has been a lover of it for so long that I'm like, that's awesome, because usually it starts with fitness and then the Shaco. So it's been so funny to
That's
like
your
watch.
story. That's your story.
That's your story.
What made you buy into Beachbody was this shake that you were like, okay, yeah, I'll try the shake, and then whatever results for you came. Like your experience with Shakeology is so different than mine. I don't have type 1 diabetes, so it's a totally different story. So without even promoting like Shakeology, it's like, you know, I was skeptical, or like, I understand what people out there are seeing about the Shakeology, but here's what it did for me. And you go out there speaking to people with type 1 diabetes, where it sounds like you're trying, like you just learn, you're not trying to like catch everybody. You're trying to speak to the people who can relate to what you went through.
You feel.
I needed myself. I think that was what I needed myself for years and years and years. And then I finally found that. And then the Shaco was just like over the top, you know, it's helped me out just with my blood sugars. It's not like I've lost weight by any means, but my blood sugar control is just out of this world.
That's huge.
But the amount of people that are like dying to get their blood sugars to do okay, and like could just relate to that alone. Like that's why just sharing how the programs, the products, whatever it is, how it's helped you. No one can ever fault you for that. You're just sharing how it's helped you. You're sharing your own personal story, and people can't rip you apart for that because it's personal.
And this is the best thing too, is that like as a coach, bonus side, when you have your challengers like you, Megan, like I've had so many of my challengers as of late, like the last week or two, message me and be like, thank God for Beachbody On Demand. Thank God for my workouts. Thank God for this community, because we already had this. We already had this online community where we know each other in some sense. But that feeling when we get these types of testimonials, it's like Beachbody's changed my life. Whether you want to, like, whether your customer wants to become a coach or not, like for me, I love helping people and hearing like your story and anyone else's story that I see, like, just makes me so happy. And if we can get any ounce of happiness through this whole quarantine time with COVID, take it. We need all the good juju right now.
And I've tried to pass along like my love for Shakeology, but just like what you said, Annalisa, like not everyone's type 1 diabetic, so they don't see all of the benefits to that. And so where I run into issues when I try to promote it is people immediately come at me with the cost. Like even if you're a discount coach, you know, you're still paying the 95 plus, I think it's 15 or 17 or whatever it is, you know, on top of that. And so they're like, I can't imagine spending that much money on one shake a day, da da da. So like, how would you do your speak off to that?
I can take this one.
Yes.
I love objections. Well, first I want to say that like, because this is not a typical like coaching sneak peek call, like we didn't cover all this stuff, but do know that we do have trainings and that we do have weekly team calls that we cover every single different topic you could ever possibly imagine, to branding yourself, to posting on social media, to, you know, how to connect with people effectively, you know, like anything you can possibly think of, including overcoming objections, because that is a big part of it. And I don't like to think about that as like you're trying to overcome an objection to make a sale. What a lot of it is you're trying to help people overcome themselves to actually allow you to help them. Does that make sense? Because a lot of it is like fears or what they value, like what they perceive to be valuable, which they don't have any perception of why Shakeology will be valuable because you haven't experienced it yet. Just like you, or like I wasn't, you know, I was skeptic of a shake until I actually experienced what it did for me and I believed in it, right? A lot of like, for me with objections about Shakeology is breaking down like what actually people are struggling with in terms of nutrition. Like, are they struggling with cravings? Are they not sleeping good? Do they have poor digestion? Are they getting headaches? Do they have cravings? All of the things that Shakeology comes in and gives their body that dense nutrition to actually get rid of those problems. But then what I do is I break down, and there's a great video about Shakeology, which if you were to watch like a webinar of how to share Shakeology, that might help you feel really confident in speaking to it. But like on average, there was a statistic in this call that like you'd have to eat 27,000 calories of whole food in a day to get the amount of nutrients that your body actually needs to feel and function its best, which is impossible, right? And so the average American diet, eating processed food and a ton of crap, is getting nowhere near what they need to feel their best. And then when we go on, say, typical diets where you cut calories and you cut back food, you're therefore also cutting nutrition, right? So you're getting less, which is why people end up having more cravings, feeling like crap, getting sluggish, having headaches, and then binging and going off the rails and going right back into that cycle of diets. And so for a lot of people, this is not just a game changer because it gives their body what it needs, but it gives them the ability to actually stay on track because they feel good while they're making the changes they're making. So I would just say to you, like, the more knowledgeable you get about it, the more confident you are going to be in speaking to it. And the more that you have conversations and learn because you're going to get a lot of the same objections all the time over and over and over. I mean, for years, I've heard a lot of the same things a million times. You just get really good at learning how to speak to people's, fears and worries about it and educate them on why it's so powerful. And some people will take that answer and run with it and dive in with you. And some people probably will follow you for a while and have to watch you and get to know you and learn to trust you before they finally say yes. And that's normal too. So.
And Megan, also think about too, in general, like you use it as like breakfast, so like if we think about the cost of we're using it as a meal, so most commonly, what meal, like I go get my healthy acai bowl with my son down the road. It's $10 for one bowl. Like, it's not big. And this is like what, $3.50 for a meal, McDonald's, you can't, you have a hard time even getting something at McDonald's for $3.50 now, and it's crap, so when you put it in the way of, this is not meant to be on top of what they're already buying for their foods, but it's meant to be in replacement of something. And you probably notice when you have it, you're super full. Like, you're not needing the stuff that you normally would, where for me, I would have it at breakfast and I wouldn't need like all the snacks I would have in between patients because I was such a chronic snacker that I'm saving money. It's hard to think about it in the beginning like that, but you're saving money because I'm not having all those snacks. I'm just having that one thing, which is holding me. So like it starts
to get back to like what you do. Like, do you make millions of dollars a year? Like, was it a concern for you? And speak to that. Like, yeah, I totally get it. It seems like a huge price, but what I do is I replace X, Y, and Z. Or what I realized was every time I was going to Dunkin' Donuts in the morning to get my coffee and egg McMuffin, it was $7, and this is $3.50. So if you just speak to them like where they're at. Like, most people are going through the drive-thru, like guilty as charged. Like, on the way to work, stop somewhere, get that, and you don't realize what adds up. So you just break it down. It's an upfront cost of one meal every day for the month, whatever.
Yep.
But there's lots of things that goes back and forth between like what the customer you're talking to, what their needs are, what they can afford. And then last thing I'll say about that is just that I always encourage people, if cost is a concern for you, pay it forward. Start coaching, earn income, get your Shakeology paid for, and help others do the same.
I think it's probably just learning the talk-offs and being able to like educate myself on all of that kind of stuff more so than anything. So sure, it was tough jumping into buying the Shakeo right away, but to your guys' point, it's $3.50 a day and it sets my day up for so much better choices. My sugars are better, throughout the
That's what you speak to. Like, you have this experience to just say, I get it. Like, it seems expensive, but here's what I know.
And always go back, Megan, is remembering that there is the money back guarantee, so like I always tell people, you know what, my job, like you're coming to me, my job as your coach is to get you results. And I will tell you, what it takes to get the results. If you have 3 pieces of the puzzle and you're taking away 2/3 of it, like you're not going to see the results. And like I will sign you up with whatever you want, like I will help you in whatever way you need, but I really want you to get what you just told me you're struggling with. And I can tell you, if you're doing nutrition, Shaco, and exercise, you're going to get there. But if you only do one, it's going to be harder, it's going to take longer. So I just am truthful, but I would never say like, well, sorry, it's that way or the highway type of thing. But I just say, like, my job is to help you. And this is why I feel you would benefit from this is X, Y, and Z. And a lot of the times they'll say, okay. And I'll say, you know what? If you don't like it for some reason, you can always stop. No penalties. But I would say try it, see what you think, and then make your decision, and go from there. And they're usually like, okay, all right. Not all. I mean, plenty of people still say no. But, we still get that no matter how many years we've been doing this. But most people kind of take it when they see that you're just there trying to help them, and they kind of listen a little bit more.
Yep. Well, that's good to know. Like I said, I haven't really been like actively going out and saying what I've been doing and what I love so much. I mean, I bring my shake to work every day, but other than that, I don't really like start up conversations anywhere else. Yeah. So one of my friends is doing the same thing, but she's against the Shaco, but I know hers is more of like the affordability reasons, but in the same sense, the breakdown of what we're just talking about here, it really shouldn't matter. Yeah. So, but that's to each their own. They can do whatever they need to and what they want. So totally get it. Yeah. But it's just, I think it's just more so just educating people, and I don't know, maybe having them ask me more questions. And
it's where we all start. We all started knowing nothing. So more because you can speak to more.
It's not like everyone you talk to is going to buy into what you're selling. Like, it's just having conversations, sharing your story. Some will come through attraction marketing. Some will take like attraction marketing, meaning they see what you're posting, they're going to reach out to you. And then some will take like that invite of conversation, talking to them, seeing where they're at, and letting them know what you're up. It's all, we're all still learning. It changes every, month. I don't know. Something changes every month. So it's always a process, but it always comes back to what's working for you. How can you help people where they're at?
Well, good. This was super informative. I'm going to watch that, like the replay of what was happening.
Team Beachbody one. Yeah, there's a bunch of different components to it. So watch it.
And we can chit chat at any point. So you know where to find me.
It just feels like you're supposed to be part of our team. Like I just feel like you're meant to. Ashley, I hope this was informative for you too. If you have any questions, please feel free to let us know, or any concerns.
Yeah, now I love your guys' vibe, because I like how everybody's just real with everything. And honestly, I've been doing Beachbody for a while. I was a discount coach at one point, and then I dropped it. So, now I'm thinking about getting back into it. But I think, like you guys say, a lot of it is just sharing your journey, and so that people know. And I think my hesitation right now is because I'm finally coming out of a really bad bout of depression and anxiety, and I still feel like I'm working on myself a little bit. So I want to make sure I'm in a good place, but I still see myself every day online, sharing my struggles and everything. So it's just do that with this.
She's doing stories every day and doing her videos, doing everything already. I'm like, girl, you're already doing it.
Yeah. I mean,
gonna say,
what do you have to lose? You join this coach family, we're all challenge group family, but you join this coach family, we get together at events, we support each other, it's just this family, and you earn income by sharing what you're doing. You're not some sleazy salesperson. You're saying this is what I do.
Don't be sleazy. We don't like that.
No.
So. None of us do.
I just wanted to chime in on this too, because I think about the mental wellness component of it, and I know that can be really scary. And what we were saying earlier on in the call about the not needing to be perfect and sharing the real parts of it. I've struggled with anxiety and depression since I was super young, and I talk about it on social media. a couple of the girls on here, I'm not going to mention any names, but we talk about these things often because we've been through things, and like there are phases where you're kind of on a up or a down, or, you know, you have those days where it's kind of tough. And I think personally in my own experience that having coaching to show up for and like having people other than myself to show up for has been huge for me, because it is hard to show up for yourself when you're not feeling that great, you know? And it's like an added layer of accountability of like working through that and processing it and overcoming it. But it's also so relatable, especially right now, because so many people are going through that, and so many people don't have any basic healthy coping mechanisms. Like, I don't know if you guys see it, but it's all the like quarantine 15 things and all about like ordering all the cases of wine and like not making like poking at any of those choices, but saying like that we are able to show up now and show like I work out for anxiety relief, and I, you know, gratitude journal, and I lean on my community, and I do these things, and like it may not completely fix those things, but it helps me work through them in a more empowered way. And I think that's something really, really powerful to talk about in general, but especially right now when collectively everyone's going through like roller coaster of emotions. So
especially when like actually, especially if you're starting to feel icky about the way that you've been feeling. Cause like I always say, I had like almost like a, I don't know, if you're religious, I guess it would be like a come to Jesus moment. If you're not, it would be like a, God, enough, like done. Like, I don't want to feel this anymore. And then you just dive into coaching and you're like, F it.
I feel like
can't hurt at this point, you know?
Yeah, I feel like that's what I'm getting, because like honestly, like I work as a nurse and like I'm in the ICU dealing with all the corona patients, and I'm like, I don't want to not do my job just because I'm higher risk, but I'm like, I need to start like taking care of myself better. I've like drank my shake every day for 2 weeks so far, and I've always gone back and forth, because when I first started drinking the shake, like I could not find a recipe. It was not my thing. I definitely was more about the fitness, but like I found my shake, and it's like I come home, I have it every day. I'm like, I know I'm getting my multivitamins. And honestly, this is probably the best my sugars have been looking in a couple of years just from doing this. So
there's your story, girl.
There you go.
Yeah.
Mic drop. Done.
All you do, share that.
So cool.
So we'll see you both on the team call next week.
Honestly, it sounds like you guys are like ready. Like there's nothing, I promise you, nothing bad will come out of embracing this opportunity. Nothing bad. Like it's up to you. You get what you put into it. You can decide. And like my biggest advice to you guys is when you enroll, talk to your coach who enrolls you and tell them like, what are your expectations? How much time can you put into this a day? What do you want to see come out of this? Because your coach is going to be the one who helps you do that. They're not going to tell you what to do. They're going to say, what do you want to do with this opportunity? How much money do you want to make? Like, how much recognition do you want? And I'm going to tell you what you need to do to achieve those things. So it's up to you guys, what you put into it. My big thing is like, go big. It's so much fun going fast, achieving milestones, achieving success, earning income, having a challenge group of people that you're like, I can't wait to help them and do it together. So you just say, I'm going to start my first challenge group on, I don't know, when is it, like the end of April or in 2 weeks? Like you invite family, friends, social media, and even if 2 people come to your challenge group, you rock that challenge group like crazy. And you just have fun doing it. That's what we're here for. We're here to help people, no matter if it's 1 person, 10 people, whatever, and it will continue to snowball. So I'm excited that you guys were on. I hope that we see an introduction of you guys in the team as active coaches, because nothing more than meeting new coaches and helping them succeed. And Jamie, you're hiding, but I know I'll see your face. And we'll let you guys go. It's 9:30. So thank you for spending your time with us tonight.
Thank
And
you.
I look forward to seeing you guys again
Oh,
soon.
boomerang?
Oh,
I thought you were doing a
We
boomerang.
already took one, but not a cute one. So
I was just waving.
take a new one.
All right, you got it. All right, cool. All right, ladies, have a good night.
Good night, guys.
Bye.
Bye.